What's going on, everybody? Liam O'Reilly, Vermont Economic Realtor. Hope you're doing well. Ran across this magazine today. Not sure if you can see it in the camera here. It's a Realtor.com magazine that says "Not Enough Homes." And from what we've talked about on this channel and what you've probably seen in the news, your experience with the housing market, you'd think this was written yesterday or at some point in 2022 or 2021, but it was actually written in August of 2019. So I wanted to share that with you. I just randomly ran across it, and it it just shows that this supply issue, the inventory issue that we've talked about on this channel, is something that's persisted for years now and has started before the pandemic. It's not something that was induced by the pandemic and by the cheap money that we've had in the system, although that didn't help the inventory. Um, so just thought I would share that with you folks. I hope you liked the last video. It was a market stats video. I got a new camera, so I was able to switch back and forth between graphs and me talking. So I'm gonna do that again here. I wanted to discuss the housing supply, the months of housing supply, where we're at now in the housing market, at least here in Vermont, and what happened in the past with months of housing supply, and how that can help us be prepared for the future and be prepared for what happens. So, if you don't know, months of housing supply is calculated by taking the active inventory currently on the market and dividing that by the average number of homes or average number of pending sales within the past 12 months. So, not closed sales, but homes that go under contract. So, they could go under contract, fall through for some reason, and then come off the market. That sale wouldn't be closed necessarily, but it would still it would count as a pending sale in the housing supply, in the months of housing supply. So I want to look at this chart here. Let me switch over. So right here you can see months of housing inventory, or months supply of inventory, which is defined as right beneath the title there. The inventory of homes for sale at the end of a given month divided by the average monthly pending sales from the last 12 months. And I want to take a look at this historical chart here. So you can see, I mean, the graphs here, the green bars and then the blue bars. The green bars are the single family homes, the blue is townhomes and condos. This is October of 2022. So you can see here we're at a 1.6 months supply of inventory based on the average number of homes for sale. So basically what that's saying is, if we sell around 100 homes per month, then there's about 150 homes on the market. One and a half. It's going to take us 1.5 months to go through the existing supply in a given month. So if we sold 100 homes per year and there were 12 months of supply, that would mean there are 1,200 homes on the market at the end of this given month. So you can see right now, based on the current data in October here, 1.6 months supply. That's pretty low, and I think this is a great indication because this really takes into account the balance between supply and demand, right? So if demand goes down and supply stays the same, then the months of the home sales are going to decline, right? If demand is the constraint as opposed to supply, then that is going to be the limiting factor. That is going to dictate how many homes are sold. Right now, supply is the constraint. So right now, if there were more homes on the market, there's enough demand to satisfy those homes that come into the market. So the more homes that hit the market, the demand fills that. But if the opposite was the case and demand was the constraint, so there's a ton of homes on the market and there's not enough buyers out there, you would still see a similar effect in change in months of inventory, if that makes sense. Because it's the number of buyers out there transacting in the market compared to the active supply on the market, which is what this is charting. So let's go back to the chart and let's see what's happening. So As you can see now, we're all the way down in the bottom right there at 2022, the end of the year here. Very low month supply of inventory. You can see it bottomed out right at the beginning of 2022 in January, which makes sense. Inventory was low, so demand was high. Very little month supply of inventory here in Vermont. But something else that I want to highlight is if you go back to 2009, so take a look at the graph back there in 2009. It's towards the left of your screen here. The month's supply of inventory was around 17 months at its peak in the summer of 2009 for single family homes, at around 12 months supply for condos. And then it pretty much stayed above 12 months supply throughout basically up until 2012. So the inventory on the market exceeded a year's demand for it, basically. So if you sell 100 homes per month, then over here, when it was in the summer of 2009 at the peak, it was around 1,700 homes that would be on the market at or during that time if you sell 100 homes per month. Just I'm simplifying these numbers to make things a little bit simpler here and help us all understand what this chart means. So given that, given that the supply and demand was so imbalanced during that time, that the month supply, that there was enough inventory on the market, at that point, demand was the constraint. That, instead of taking 1.6 months to sell all the existing homes on the market, or however many homes are there, it took 17 months at its peak. And when you have that supply and demand imbalance, I mean, why really hammering home why I think there's very little downside risk to the Vermont market is when you go back to the chart, here's the Chittenden County chart of primary home sales, the median home sale price during those years. You see that even in, we have that 3.2% drop, but we have a 15-month supply of inventory. So, I hear a lot of people I talk with who have arguments against my point where I don't think we're going to see a housing crash here in Vermont or in Chittenden County in the near future. A lot of the argument is that demand can go way down. That supply doesn't necessarily need to go up, but demand can continue to be crushed as the economy gets crushed, and as if the Fed continues to raise rates, as rates stay high, as we head into a recession, that demand can go further, has further to go to the downside, and supply doesn't have to increase that much if demand gets crushed, which is a fair point. But I think when you look at those charts and you see when demand was much lower than supply before, when there were over 15 months of inventory on the market, over a year of inventory on the market for years in a row, at that point it's all about that chart is really mapping the ratio of buyers to sellers, of supply and demand. And when the ratio was 10 times worse than it is right now, we're at 1.6 months and we were up to 16 months, we only saw a decline in median home price by 3.2%. So in my opinion, I think going into the future here, even if demand gets crushed more, gets 10 times worse than it is now, and supply stays the same, then we're still unlikely to see a crash that's beyond that 3% benchmark. Maybe it'll be a little around there, but somewhere within that range. I don't think anything more than 5%, assuming the worst case scenario from what we've seen in the past. Now, people are predicting a lot of things for 2023. People are predicting a severe recession. People are predicting, potentially something as big as another Great Depression. And if something like that happens, then that's something that we haven't seen before, and that's going to be new information that we're given to us, and stuff that we're going to have to field as we go. But I think given the severity of the 2008 crisis that happened nationally, the amount of inventory that was on the market then, the underlying dynamics of the home market, the the subprime mortgages, the builder's confidence leading up to the crash, the mass foreclosures, the people that were overextended. I think given those circumstances, it just, in my opinion, we're as an overall market are in a better place housing wise than we were back then. And even with the worst case scenario that we've seen in recent history, median home prices here in Vermont haven't been significantly affected. So, anyways, just wanted to share that data with you folks. Let me know what you think. Leave me a comment. All my contact information is listed in the description. If you're looking to buy or sell a home in Vermont, feel free to reach out by phone or email. Or if you'd like to just reach out to me privately, have video suggestions, things along those lines, feel free to reach out. Please, let me know you're a real person. I get a lot of spam calls and spam text messages. So let me know you're a real person who watches the channel. Other than that, if you're looking for an agent, happy to help you here in Vermont or help you find an agent throughout the country. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.